All right, welcome back to the eBay shop. My name's Corey.
I'm Teresa. Ooh, they got a double hand today.
Ooh, and I don't know what the rest of the intro is. And we are Grabs It Pops Vintage, and today we're just going to talk to you about the weekend. Kind of a crazy weekend we had this weekend.
It was a stupid weekend.
It was stupid crazy, but also kind of good. So we're going to get into some of the stuff we did over the weekend, but as usual, we have stuff going out. It is Monday for us. What's the first thing going out today?
We sold some clips. Just clips.
Magazines.
Magazines, there you go. These are SIG Sauer P229 .40. This all makes zero sense to me. S&W .357, SIG 10 round, 10 round magazine instead of 2.
So that's what they are. Two of these. I think we showed these in another video. We found a whole bag of SIG magazines.
We sold 2 sets this weekend.
Yep, and these are going really fast. Like they're selling good, and we're probably almost out of them. What do we got?
Oh.
Less than half left.
I have one more set of those because we sold 2 sets of those this weekend.
Yep.
And then I have one or two other bags, and then we're done.
So, anytime you see SIG, like SIG Sauer, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a very good brand. So we picked these up for very cheap, and they're selling quick. What'd those go for?
Those sold for $30. So did the other set that we sold this weekend.
All right, next we got another one of Teresa's creepy alien dolls.
Do not, if you see these out in the wild, do not walk past them. Most of them go for a lot of money because they only made them for like one time and then they quit making them.
That's what they are. They look like they are little alien dolls. What are they called?
This is a Novi Stars Orbit Beach Universe. See how she's got her little thing going around her like it's a universe?
I thought it was a spaghetti strainer, but...
It's a Universe doll. She does have her molecule pet with her.
She does.
In her original outfit. Don't sleep on these people. That sold for $64.99. And that's the third one I've sold. The only one I have left yet is my $149 doll.
Yep. And in 4 years, I've never seen one of those. We just happened to get lucky and see them and be curious enough to look them up.
Yep. But somebody else we had talked to said they have found them and sold them too.
I've never even heard of them.
Nope. Neither have I.
So, all right, this weekend we actually it was a big community sale weekend, and there was a bunch of community sales. So we had to figure out where we were going and what we were doing. We ended up hitting 6 community sales, 2 neighborhood sales, and we did that over a 3-day period. And I think we put in pretty close to 400 miles this weekend.
We did. We spent lots of time in the car together.
We did. And we completely packed the car full times 2.
Yes, we did.
Yep, over the weekend. So I guess this part of the video, let's talk about how, like with 6 community sales and 2 neighborhood sales, how did we even decide which ones we were going to go to?
So I think when I did it, I've started going out, and if I see the community-wide sales, I put them in my calendar. So don't mind everything else that's in there. But all of these yellow ones are community-wide or citywide sales. I think I just went with whatever was happening the earliest, and then we went from there for this one. But typically, like with our bigger sales, like coming up this next weekend, I'll go with the town that has the most sales on the first day, and we'll go to those first.
A lot of times. We do factor in a little bit what we think other resellers are going to do. Usually, for me, most resellers and most people in general will take the path of least resistance. So the big town near us is Sioux Falls. It's about an hour away. That's the town where most of the resellers are, and most of them won't leave town. They'll do the easy sales that are around them. So we tend to go the opposite direction.
Yep. So this time we went to, the first sale we went to is just a little itty bitty town.
Yep.
It's probably about 15 minutes outside of Sioux Falls. And so we went there first because it's on the way. And then we hit our bigger city neighborhood sales in Sioux Falls.
Yep. So we basically kind of do the reverse of what we think other people are going to do.
But we did
Sometimes.
this time.
Sometimes.
This time we saw one of the people that we always see at garage sales. We saw him at the ones in Crooks when we went.
So he was probably doing the same thing we were, trying to get out of town. He was putting in the extra work to get out of the crowd. And that happens. I mean, you can't outguess everybody all the time.
Can I shame him though?
I suppose.
He's a freaking driveway parker.
He is a driveway parker.
Oh, it drives me nuts.
Yep.
And the opposite way in the driveway.
What do you do? Like, some people just weren't taught manners.
So once we did that, then from there, I go on to, the smaller sales. So like the one that was in Coleman, Canton is a somewhat big sale. So we went to that one on Friday because that's last year it was a bigger sale.
Yeah.
It was not that great this year.
It wasn't. We did get some things in Canton. We did okay there.
Yep.
But it wasn't as good as it was last year.
No. And so then...
But we're also picking a lot different than we were last year. We're picking more high-end items. So when we say we filled the car twice, we filled the car twice with $100 plus items. Like the majority. We did pick up some smaller items. But we did like fantastic. And we have a lot of really high-end items. Well, 2 carfuls.
Yes. So let's see. Thursday we went Crooks and the 2 Citywides in town. Friday we went to Canton and then we hit Coleman. That was a joke. Yeah. Corey complained the whole time.
Coleman was not great.
They're doing construction on the main road that goes in and out of there, which is a main highway. But they have only one way into town open and one way into town and out of town. Because we had to go all the way back. We ended up taking back roads home. And
the bad part about that one way in or out is it's controlled by an automated stoplight because you have traffic going on the same street. So it's like a 15-minute wait for the light to turn, and you don't risk it because you don't know which direction the traffic's coming from. So you don't know if you're going to go on to head-in traffic. So you have to sit there and wait the 15 minutes. So it's like 30 minutes to get in and out of a town where there was 3 sales, maybe.
I think there was 3 sales. I don't even know if we bought anything there.
I don't think we bought a single thing there. But we did in Canton. Canton, I think, is where we got the stereo equipment, wasn't it? I think
so.
I think it was. We got 2 really good things there. We happened to be at a garage sale and we saw under one of the tables was a whole bunch of Sony stereo equipment in the box.
All of it but one.
It's all used, but it's all in the box with the styrofoam except for like one piece. And we just happened to ask, is this stuff for sale?
we were great negotiators too. It was hilarious. We're like, how much do you want for it all? And there was a grown adult lady, and her mom were at the sale running it.
It was the younger lady's sale.
Yep. And the younger lady says, how about $20? I'm like, I'll do it for $20.
I'll put like a little video clip in here of the equipment. There's a lot of it, and it's really good Sony stereo equipment. And in box with the styrofoam, $20 wasn't even a question. Matter of fact, her mom kind of stepped in and said, hold on a minute. I was thinking more like 50. And even at 50,
we'd have done good.
When I went up there to negotiate, I was thinking, I'm not paying more than 200 for this.
Yep.
So when she said, well, I was thinking more like 50, I said, I'll tell you what, I'll split it with you. I'll go in them. I'll give you 40 for it.
Which was like, I'm like sitting there, I'm still doing this to this day as I'm listening to it in my head. And I'm like, well, wouldn't the difference between 20 and 50 be like 30?
Yeah, but
35?
I almost felt bad taking it at 40. But it was her equipment. She was willing to sell it for 20. I ended up giving her 40.
We did.
And then we loaded it all up. And then on the way out of town from that, we bought an electronic drum set, a good one.
Yep.
Like not a toy one. It was an actual good electronic drum set. Simmons? Simmons is the brand?
Yep. And the one foot pedal goes for $50 to $60. So we paid 40, so that's 100%. Everything else on top of that is profit.
Yep. And we did decide to part that one out. It seems to sell better parted out individually, even the little brackets that hold it together. So we're just parting it out so it'll be easy to ship and we'll get rid of that. So that was a good community sale. Even though altogether it wasn't as good as last year, we did get a lot of profit out of that.
That was also the one, though, that we ended up... There was an out in the country sale, because that was the same day we went to that one, right?
Yeah.
We went to this one sale, and it had a whole bunch of Homeco, like the plastic, fancy black and gold decorations.
Was the one on 81.
Yeah, that's the one that was on the country.
Yep.
But we went to this one, and they had 3 boxes. And I told Corey when we looked at it, they meant 3 boxes for 25 cents, because it was all Homeco plastic decor.
The labeling was not clear. I thought it was 25 cents a piece out of the boxes, which would have been a steal because it was the good MCM, like Homeco stuff, the big kind of, it looks like molded plastic.
Yep.
And they do sell well for a decent price usually. You can
Plus we have the whole sets. Like it's not like one individual piece, so you can give them the whole decor for their wall.
A lot of times you can sell that for $15, $20 a piece and up. and there was 3 boxes of it. And I was thinking 25 cents a piece. Teresa was like, no, 25 cents for all 3 boxes.
So we went through it. We
handpicked.
cherry picked into one box all this stuff, and we left the other 2 boxes. One box had like 1 or 2 things in it, and the other box had like 4 or 5 things in it that were not the same stuff. So we took it up there and we went to go pay because we got lots of good stuff. We got that. We got the Cutco steak knives.
Yep.
We got my favorite, Oneida Brahms
A whole
flatware.
set. Yep. So
We did pay up.
There's $200-300 just in the Brahms. There's another $80 in the steak knives, probably 60 to 80. Were those more?
Yeah, I think those are going for
Oh,
like
they
over
were
100.
because they had them priced at 60. We negotiated to 50, so that they were like 150.
Yep.
So there was a lot of profit at that sale. But at the end, our car was full.
Yep,
At
and
that
we still
sale.
packed it in.
And we packed it in, but the lady at the garage sale was trying very hard to get us to take those other 2 boxes because we paid for them.
Yep.
And we were like, no, you're going to have to,
Because what did you do? We bought something and you went back up. What did you go back up for?
I unpacked the box
Oh, and
because we
gave her the
couldn't fit the
box
box
back.
in the car. So we had to take the pieces out of the box and pack them in the car around stuff.
Yep.
So I took her back her empty box and she's like, okay, what are you going to do with the other 2 boxes? I was like, I don't know. You'll have to let me know.
Yeah, we only paid a quarter for it, the entire box.
Yeah, it was a big box too.
Oh, I didn't tell you that they posted a thing on Facebook shortly after that they had stuck a whole bunch of stuff in the driveway part, like on the concrete pad, that was free.
Nice.
But it was none of the good stuff. They had amazing stuff. Like they really did. They had a whole bunch of Pyrex. They had,
It was a huge sale.
I don't even remember what else they had. They had a lot.
All right, we've gone very far off track.
Well, we're still talking about
So,
the weekend,
We
but
do.
not sourcing.
We do have some more stuff that's sold. So what do we got next?
We sold some supplements. Both boxes, both of them.
I'm just gonna grab one. So it's these guys again, same brand. We sold 2 different bottles. This one and
The lifeblood that I shipped to the wrong person.
the one that's back we resold. Okay.
Yep. So these are heart and soul. One is lifeblood cardio. The one Corey has in his hand is gut and digestion. But
Lifeblood and gut and digestion. That's what's sold. Those 2.
they're
there.
brand new seal. Is that one still got a seal on it?
Yeah, they're both
okay,
sealed.
Okay. But those sold to the same person. We had some negotiation back and forth for quite a bit. But each one of those sold for $39.99 a piece. So that's $80, and we
Yep.
paid $5 a piece for them. So
All right, next is something that Teresa listed. I don't even know where you said you got this
remember
from.
that was
our
that Facebook
learning books.
Marketplace.
Yep. We bought a bunch of like homeschool type books.
Yep.
Right?
I don't have many of them left either.
So that's what this one is.
It's Recipe for Selling, a comprehensive spelling program.
Recipe for spelling.
That's what I said.
I thought you said selling.
Spelling.
Oh.
Are you deaf today?
Playback will tell us the truth.
It's Recipe for Selling. It
We'll
will, but I'm
find
pretty
out.
sure I said a recipe for spelling. It's Recipe for Selling.
Well, we did sell the spell, so
We did, and it sold for $29.99 plus shipping. I don't usually do plus shipping on my books, so that was weird.
All right. Now we had already at this point had a pretty full weekend. We've done Thursday, Friday, and Saturday full of sales by this point. And then Saturday, we actually had to go have a sit down with a local lady in town that owns a thrift store that is getting rid of the thrift store and moving 100% to eBay.
Yeah, and we didn't know that's what she was doing. She had messaged me. We bought some stuff from her. We've talked with her, whatnot. But she messaged me, I don't know, like Tuesday or Wednesday, and she's like, "Hey, can you give me a call when you get a chance? I need to ask you some questions." I'm like, "Sure." So then I messaged her Saturday when I told her I would talk to her, and she said, "Well, how about we just go have supper together?"
Yep. And we did. We went and sat at a little Mexican restaurant here in town, and she ended up buying supper that night, which was great. She didn't need to do that, but we were thankful she did. Like, we talked for what, almost 2 hours.
It was. So
Yeah.
we broke bread and chatted, and she asked all kinds of questions because she does.
Bread?
We broke bread
There
together.
was no bread there.
Well, there was. I had bread.
What kind of bread?
I had a bun.
You did?
I had a Mexican burger.
Oh, Teresa had bread. We
And
broke
you had bread too because you had a tortilla shell.
That's not bread.
Close enough. But so she went in and she was just asking us questions. They own a thrift store in town, or I don't know if it's a thrift store.
Kind of like a boutique
antique store.
Antique store, yeah.
Yep, that we've bought stuff from before. But she is looking to switch from doing that to selling 100% on eBay.
I think we kind of started her on the path a few months ago when we were in there. We were talking to her about eBay, And we talked to her for almost an hour that day in her shop. And after that, like just a week or so after that, she pulled off and listed like 6 or 8 items on eBay, and pretty much all of them sold. And I think it kind of clicked for her, and she was like, why am I running this shop?
Yep.
So she is converting over to 100% eBay, but that lends to a few problems.
Yep.
Because she has massive amounts of inventory, and it's not all the kind of inventory that would do well on eBay.
No, we did laugh a couple times because she's like, well, I have this whole bunch of cherished teddies. They're little, if you don't know what they are, they're just like little, or Boyd's Bears. She's got those.
She's got an entire collection of Avon bottles and like the typical antique store stuff. And not all that does very good on eBay. So she's, not only is she trying to figure out eBay and get that figured out, she's trying to figure out how to liquidate a lot of inventory that doesn't fit the new selling model that she's moving into. So we had a lot of discussion about that kind of stuff, but then also just the ins and out of eBay.
Yep, like...
Hold on. You got a booger hanging out of your nose. For how long, I don't know.
I don't know. Shut up. The big thing for her is she's used to the thrift store type thing where you just stick stuff wherever it looks good to store it, but she needs to be able to keep track of where she's putting this
Inventory was a major concern. She was afraid of listing something, and she's actually had it happen already where she listed something on eBay that was in her shop, and then
but her husband
was working the shop and sold it the very next day.
Yep.
So she's already ran into the problem. So she was really concerned about inventory.
Yep, and so we gave her the rundown on our inventory, how we do it. And she's also, they just moved from in town to out in the country. So they're using they don't park in their garage a lot like us. So they're going to convert their garage with shelving all around it for her to be able to do it. But yeah, just the general ins and outs of eBay.
Yep. So we kind of went through for a good hour and a half, just the kind of things she can expect from eBay. She was a little worried about scammers and stuff.
Yep.
We kind of walked her through that's not really an issue. As long as you're following eBay guidelines, eBay's going to stand behind you.
Yep.
Some of the stuff as far as communicating with a customer, like she wanted to solve a problem with a customer. She was saying things in the messages she probably shouldn't say. She probably should have just said contact eBay and let them handle it. So we kind of went over the basics of eBay with her.
Yep.
Which I think was a huge help.
She took notes, like even...
She took notes.
Yep, even like where do we get our supplies from, printing labels. We told her, one of the big things to do if you're going to start shipping a lot of stuff, go get a label printer, a thermal printer. Best thing you could ever get. Just giving her the basic advice of this, almost the same thing I gave my sister.
Yep.
When my sister started doing it, it's like just the basic stuff. This is how we do it, but you don't have to do it this way. You can also watch other videos to see how other people do it as well.
Yeah, I think she's got a different problem than most people. She's coming into it with storage, like barns full of inventory, but she doesn't have the experience on eBay. So she's got the inventory, not all good inventory. A lot of it she's going to have to try and figure out how to liquidate, which we did talk to her about the dollar auction. Yep. And some of that stuff does move really well on the dollar auction. She has a lot of glass trinkets and figurines and stuff like that would do very well in the dollar auction. But she also has a lot of furniture and stuff. So she's partnering with another thrift store in town to move her big stuff, her furniture stuff over there.
Yep.
So she's got a pretty good plan, and she's moving in the right direction.
So she did learn, though, as well, because she had hit me up when we were in there the one day and was talking about she has a trailer load full of dolls, not ceramic dolls. They're like the Chatty Cathy and I don't even remember what the rest of them are. But she's like, she messaged me a few times. She's like, well, when do you have time to come look at these dolls? And I'm like, I'm super busy right now. I don't have time. And then she just quit asking me about them. Well, I found out why while we were sitting down, because she went and looked one up, listed it, and sold it very quickly for over $100. So she's like, yeah, no, I'm just going to go through these dolls on my own and sell them.
Which is great, because that's going to give her a big head start on eBay when she starts listing that good inventory. So I'm glad that it worked out that way. And when she says she has a lot of dolls, I'm talking we don't have room right now, lot of dolls.
No, she has, I would have to put totes, lots and lots of totes up there, because they had a trailer. I'm pretty sure it was like a 6 foot wide by 12 foot trailer full of dolls.
Yeah, so I'm super happy that worked out, and that she's going to be able to list those on eBay, because that's going to give her 2 years worth of inventory.
Yep.
That's good movable inventory off the start. and it's going to help her really get things rolling.
Yep. And when you talked about questions that she asked, one of the big questions she asked, which a lot of people ask, is when do I convert my eBay page to a store?
Yep.
And right now I think she said she has like 89 items listed, and that's it. But she is trying to go full force and start listing a whole lot. And so we just told her, once you hit that $250 item, that's your point that you need to convert to a store.
Yeah, convert to a store when you have to. When you can't list anymore without paying for it, convert to a store.
Yep. That was fun though.
Yeah, it was fun. It was great talking to her because she reminds me a lot of my mom.
We both agree on that.
Like as soon as we walked out of the restaurant, we both looked at each other. She was like, she reminds me of your mom. And I was like, yeah, that's true. So it was a nice conversation, and it's nice to have another person locally that does this just to chat with about it, because it is kind of fun to chat with other resellers.
Yep. Oh, I got to say one other thing that I forgot about.
Okay.
I don't know if that was this weekend or if that was last weekend. No, I don't remember when it was. Anyway, so we were out sourcing, and somebody said to us,
well, we got recognized.
and they're like, hey, I know you. And the first response is to look at somebody, and I sat there and looked at her for a bit, and I'm like, you look really familiar to me. She's like, yeah, not the way you think. Here it is, somebody who's been watching our stuff.
Well, she said, I know you, and I was like, I didn't do it. Like, I'm innocent. But normally when somebody locally says, I know you, like, we know a lot of people, so it's like, okay, Teresa used to work with her or something.
Yep, I've had that happen a lot.
And that does happen a lot. I never for a moment thought, okay, she knows me from YouTube. Like, we're not YouTube stars.
No, well, she says, you guys are the local celebrities. And so we sat and chatted with her. So she bought something from us a year ago, a North Face jacket. And she's been watching us ever since. And so she was just telling us about how she got into starting to resell. And she went a route that I would have never
She went the right route. She went a route of stuff that she already had access to.
Yep.
So she started selling car parts, that's cool to see. Like, you start with what you have.
Well,
and she did exactly that.
No offense. I mean, I've gotten car parts. I don't necessarily know what that crap is. So for a girl to go in and start selling car parts.
But it sounds like she knows more about it. Like,
I think, didn't she say her grandpa or her dad owns a...
So it sounds like she had good access to car parts. And so it was a natural place to start. Her name was Amanda, right?
Her name was Amanda. And we sat there and talked to her for like half hour, 45 minutes, just chit-chatting back and forth, all about, how she sells and other stuff. And
she's even thinking about going more of a full-time route with it, if circumstances lead that way. So she had questions too, which is really cool. Like, we love talking to other resellers. So if you ever see us out there, not like the 6 people that watch this probably aren't going to see us out there, but if you ever see us out there, don't be afraid to say, hey, I know you. Because we will sit and chat with you.
Yeah, say, hey, I know you from here.
No, just don't be surprised if we're innocent. We didn't do it. We weren't even there.
We don't know who you are. But yes, we appreciate people watching. 100%. So it's great.
And we love talking to other people that do this.
Yes.
So, all right, what's sold next?
We sold a transducer. So this was to me, this was a bait and switch item.
There's not a lot to look at here. It's a transducer that goes on a boat that feeds information to your depth finder.
Yep.
So that's all it is.
Yep. We picked it up for $6 and it was in a package. So we looked it up based on that package thinking that's what was in there.
Well, it even had the paperwork within it, like the package was labeled, like it looked like that was in there. But as usual, when people buy a new thing, they take the old one off and put it in the box, and then they sell you the box and you're thinking it's the new thing. We've had that happen quite a few times. We know to look, but with a transducer, it really doesn't matter. Even if it had been the old one, I'd have still bought it for the price we did because transducers go well.
Yep, we paid $6, but that was a Hummingbird. I'm not going to read all the thing, but it's a transom mount side and down imaging, so it goes side to side down. Transducer, and it sold for $99.99, and it was only on the store for about 5 days.
All right, and we know about these because we've bought these before.
We have.
And they are expensive. They're tire air pressure monitoring systems.
Yep.
A lot of times people use these on their RVs because you can't always see the tires on the trailer. So part of it will go on your tire, part of it will go in your truck, and you can tell what your air pressure is.
Bluetooth, RF, however.
And we've had these, and we know they're expensive,
Yep,
so we
and
bought that.
We did pay up for it, so we paid
did.
$120 for this. We didn't flip it for, it's doubled our profit, but we sold it for $269.99. So,
Yep. And I don't mind that. I mean, if the risk was low, it had a good sell-through rate, and to flip something for $100 profit, I'll do that all day long. All right, now when we got back from supper with the lady in town, we walked into the house and we were like, oh, it's warm in here.
Out. And don't get us wrong, our entire front south-facing side of our living room is 100% windows.
So it always gets warm in the living room.
Yep.
But it was abnormally warm. Like, it was 80 degrees in the house, and we were like, what's going on?
It was, this might be wrong, but it was walk in the door, take off all your clothes just to be able to sit on the couch.
Yeah, you should not get swamp ass in the living room. That's not something that should happen. It was out of the ordinary. So even the dogs were outside when we came home. They were like, nah.
So my brother was the one that installed our AC unit, our HVAC unit, because it's not just AC.
Yeah, fast forward, our air conditioning went out.
Yes. So I called my brother and I'm like, hey, this is not working. You broke it. It's your fault.
And it is brand new AC from the outside to the inside, the whole unit.
2 years old.
The furnace, everything's new. It was 2 years old.
Yep.
So for it to be out, we were like, I don't like your brother.
So we worked together with my brother and figured out what it was.
It was our fault.
The blower motor went out because I'm a horrible person and cannot remember to ever change my furnace filter.
Yep, and the furnace filter was bad. Like, it was clogged, and it just burned the motor out. So we have no AC since that was Saturday? Saturday evening.
So yesterday I spent a lot. Well, yesterday we mowed, so we were already swamp ass from mowing.
We were out doing yard work all day because it's a big yard.
Yep, and so we went in and we sat in the... It made it better because we did turn on a fan in our living room, which kind of got moving air, and it finally got to the point where we had a breeze. So we were able to move air throughout the house.
It does... We are kind of soft as people, I'm realizing. like the AC goes out. It was only like 75 degrees yesterday outside. So we just opened windows, we turned on a fan, but when your AC goes down, I think it really shows you how soft you are, because I was uncomfortable until we went to bed.
Not stripped down. He got down to shorts, which he usually doesn't put his shorts on until it's time for bed.
No, I'm not a shorts wearing person.
So he was shorts. He had on a cutoff shirt for a bit, but then that got discarded too. So
yeah, it got warm. Now, it was more comfortable when we went to bed. Our bedroom has windows on the north side of the house, basically.
Yep, so it's always cooler.
It's always a little cooler in there. Plus, we have a ceiling fan in the bedroom. So we've managed to stay fairly cool so far. We did get the AC motor, or the blower motor, ordered today.
Yep, so it'll be here tomorrow.
And our reselling experience actually helped us get that here faster, because we were able to print the label for it to send over there, and we just
got it deeply discounted compared to what he would have had to pay, because they don't ship a whole lot of stuff.
No, and they would have just bought the label at the UPS store, and for overnight it would have probably been well over $100, probably close to $200. And we got it for like $90 on pirate ship and just sent them the label.
With the insurance too. So
so we'll slap that in when it gets here, probably tomorrow night.
It should be here by 5 p.m. before 5 p.m. tomorrow. But I know our UPS guy typically comes between noon and 3.
Yep. So we're okay.
We're not dying.
Don't worry about us. Like, we bought extra like ice cream bars for the refrigerator. We're gonna be like, we're roughing it out, but we're gonna be okay.
We're roughing it. We might have to open the fridge and stand in front of the fridge a few times.
Then the dang fridge would go out.
But you just have to find the rooms on the north side of our house to go in, like our bathroom.
My little office gets so hot, but our bedroom and the bathroom in the bedroom are really cool. But our eBay shop is air conditioned.
It is, but if you really want coolness, Corey doesn't like to go up and down steps, but go into our basement. Our basement is freezing right now.
Yep. I wish, if the blower motor fan in the furnace hadn't gone out, if it was anything else, we could have turned the fan on and just let it circulate air from the basement. But since it was the fan, we can't really do that.
I did go in and I did order. My brother told me that will now have 2 years worth of furnace filters to be able to swap out.
You just have to swap them out.
I'm going to put a reminder in my phone. Like my medication I take every day, my vitamins, I have it in my phone to remind me. So I'm going to put it in So I remember.
We'll remember. Well, this was an expensive lesson. We don't forget expensive lessons. We tend to remember them.
So,
but if things get really bad and hot over the next day, we can always come out to the eBay shop because it is comfortable out
we have air
here.
mattresses somewhere. We'll just put the air mattresses on the floor.
Yeah. And our next video may just be us living in the eBay shop. We don't know. We'll see.
That's a whole nother week away. I'm pretty sure we'll have it fixed by then.
I hope so.
I hope
All right,
so too.
what's sold next?
We sold a bat. I've been selling the crap out of bats lately.
It is apparently bat season.
It is. This is a Miken.
It's a recoil.
Miken. I don't know how to say it. Recoil Dynamic Flex Ratio 180, 34 inch by 34 inch, 27 ounce red softball bat.
Yep. So that's it. There's no dents or dings, but it is pretty scratched up.
Yep.
So it doesn't even have to be in like crazy good shape.
Anybody that is looking at buying and selling bats, the main thing you want to look for is make sure there are no dents and there are no cracks in it, because those are two big no-nos for it. But it sold for $49.99. I still haven't sold my big expensive bat yet. Someday.
And next we have a Miss Rodeo America from South Dakota belt buckle. So that's it right there.
It is 1982 award design medals. Miss Rodeo America South Dakota brass belt buckle.
Yep. So what'd that sell for?
$30.
There you go. All right, so lessons from the weekend. What did we actually take from this weekend so far, other than we don't like living without air conditioning? I think probably the big one for me is this really drives home. We had like 4 or 5 weeks where we didn't have, like we'd go out because we're buying high ticket things, we'd buy 1 or 2 things, and it was starting to get concerning. But weekends like this kind of drive home the point that not every weekend is a home run.
Nope.
And this weekend we bought enough inventory for probably 3-4 months at least.
Maybe.
Of listing at our $500 a day listing goals. So there are always, this is a very feast or famine business. And a lot of them are, but sourcing is definitely just as big a roller coaster as sales on eBay. So don't get discouraged if you're having a hard time sourcing for even an extended period of time, because one weekend of 4 or 6 community sales or
could
yard
set you
sales
up for a month or two.
Yep.
Or more, depending on what you buy. 100% depending on what you buy.
Yeah, and to be clear, we could have filled the pickup 5 or 6 times this weekend if we were sourcing like we used to. We're just very stubbornly sticking to our plan and trying to source high ticket items.
Somebody is.
And somebody is also making sure Teresa does for the most part.
There is still stuff that I buy, I don't care.
There is still some stuff, especially if it's fast moving stuff, that we will still buy, and it makes sense to buy. And we can't let ourselves starve, so if we have to buy it, we will buy it. But
I don't think we have a worry of starving.
Well, I'm not going to starve.
I'm not going to starve either.
I already said I have ice cream bars, so I'm good for a week. But I think that's the biggest lesson from this weekend, is that you can source even high ticket items in a rural area like where we live. Some weekends are great, some weekends are not. It evens out. Again, this weekend set us up for a little while. So
yep, it was great. Sourcing like that, I will tell you, Corey and I are different when it comes to this, though.
We are so different.
So sourcing the 4 days, like we used to do it just on Thursdays. So he would suck it up. You know, we would do good. But now that summer's here this year, we've been taking some more time and we're sourcing Thursday, Friday, Saturdays for a majority of the time, sometimes Wednesdays.
We've kind of had to, because if you just go out on Thursdays and you're sourcing the way we're sourcing for the high ticket items, you might only come home with 1 or 2 things. Like the hunt is a lot harder now.
Yes. So,
but you need less items, so it's fine.
So for me, I don't think I have an off button, but it's a very extended off button.
She doesn't have an off button.
So we'll go to these sales and we'll get up and we'll be at these sales. A lot of times, a majority of them lately have only been opening at 8. So we'll get up, we'll pack our orders if it's Thursday or Friday, and we'll go.
Yep.
Be the sale by 8 o'clock. About 1:30, 2 o'clock, Corey's done.
To be clear, by 1:30, 2 o'clock, I've been in and out of the car probably 40 to 50 times.
I don't think it would be a big deal if it wasn't my car.
The pickup would be easier. It would just be a lot more expensive to drive the pickup because it gets less than half the gas mileage. So it does get exhausting. It does wear you down. And I would say by 3 o'clock, I'm done.
Oh, he's done. By 3 o'clock, he's done. And I will just leave him in the car and I will continue to shop.
Yep. And by 3 o'clock, I'm ready for a divorce. Like I don't want to be there. I want to go home. I want a nap. And I don't think anyone else should be there either. So that is a difference because Teresa will push through. But just because she doesn't shut off and stop doesn't mean she shouldn't have, because when we go till that late, when she gets home, she's miserable. She's worn out. She's tired.
But I don't nap.
You did the other day.
I normally do not nap. So usually when we come home, not usually when we come home, on the way home, I will be listening to music and jamming out by myself.
Because I will nap.
He is out. Like, we get out of town and he's like out. But by the time we get home, I don't nap because I usually feel like crap after naps.
I feel like crap before the nap, which is why I take the nap.
I would just rather wait and push it out and go to bed.
Yeah. Teresa.
So I torture him. That's my whole point of this whole piece of this is I torture him.
Which is good because she pushes me in that, and I push her to leave the garbage at the garage sale. So we balance each other really well, because I'll bet there was at least half a dozen times this weekend where Teresa was looking at something and I was like, no, leave it, stop. And she would have bought a $10, $15 item that was just at sell-through rate, but I put a stop to it. I'm like, no. And things that are like completely miserable to pack that would sell for $40, like, stop doing that. If it takes me 3 hours to pack something that you sold for $40 and you paid $12 for it, like, we're really good. Like, I push her hard on that area, and she pushes me not to give up by 1 o'clock.
So another story time, quick. So
there's no quick story with you.
I know. So we were at one garage sale and we looked around and there wasn't a whole lot there. There was some stuff, but they had it marked up pretty high.
They did.
And so we got to this one spot and I looked around the corner and here down on the ground in a box was white hobnail milk glass lamps, a matching set. Corey says, we don't need that. I'm like, how much do you want for it? $5.
We did not get it.
Yes, we did.
We didn't buy that.
Oh, yes, I did.
Son of a...
I did. But I think I'm going to do it because I think some of the chrome gold plating, whatever, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Has come off of parts of it. So I think
they're
I'm
garbage.
so I think I'm going to redo them and I'm going to sell them.
So despite my best efforts, sometimes Teresa does dumb
But,
shit.
hold on though, but they fit, when they package them, they fit in a 12 by 12 box. So they're not gigantic.
Fun fact, Teresa has never packed a hobnail lamp.
Yes, I have.
No, you have not. You have absolutely not.
We're going to argue about this. But a majority of the stuff that we sold like that has sold on Etsy. So
If they sold for like $100, I would be... They're not that big. It's not a big deal. But they're absolutely not going to. They're going to sell for $25 a piece, top end.
Okay.
Mark my words. This is video, whatever it is. We'll see.
We just shook on it.
We'll see. I'll bet you they sell for no more than 50 as a pair. And if they do, it's barely. So it doesn't make them worth packing it. So we're going to see.
We shook on it. Y'all saw
Matter of
it.
fact,
As we argued
if they
on
don't
camera.
sell for over $50, I'm going to tell the customer they broke when we were trying to pack them, and I'm going to shoot them in the front yard.
You can't do that because that'll be a negative on our account.
I'll take the negative. This is a negative on me right now.
Or I'll just say I'll pack them.
Yeah, then we'll deal with the damage claim.
You have no faith in my packing skills.
All right, what sold next?
We sold a mixer. I bought this on auction. I would never buy it again.
Not for cupcakes.
No, I would never buy it again, but I took an offer on it, like $50 off just to get it gone because it's been sitting for a couple months and I thought it was supposed to be a hot item and it's not.
So
it is.
It's not a terribly hard thing to pack either.
No.
It'll go in a VCR box.
It's a JBL by Harman portable shelf powered, detachable powered mixer. So it can actually go on the back of a speaker, I think is what it goes on.
I would say so.
So you can take it off and adjust your stuff and then put the speaker back on it. I don't flip it.
I think you take it off while you're using it and it just packs up to the back of the speaker when you're packing it up to
Maybe.
move.
I don't know truly.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to plug the stuff into it. But yep, that's what it looks like.
But
What
it's
that sell
sold for $100. I so wish y'all could see this thing.
What? This shirt?
This shirt.
Do you want me to take it out? I
No.
don't want to do that. All right, it's a Harley shirt.
Hopefully y'all can see that. It is a Jamaica shirt. So I pick up like the Mexico and
Jamaica,
Jamaica
Mom.
and the out of country ones, but it is a Harley Davidson men's Jamaica Island sexy pinup girl.
Ooh.
Short
Risque.
sleeve shirt size. 2XL. Oh, you could have kept that and wore the sexy pinup girl.
I wear Harley shirts.
But anyway, so
or
that.
pinup girls for that matter.
But anyways, that one sold for $26.99.
You put a sexy girl shirt on a fat guy and it just looks like she got a big ass. Like it's,
So Corey has a rule though. Speaking of shirts, Corey has a rule. When we go out garage sailing, he tries to wear a shirt that doesn't say anything.
I do, because people want to stop you and read your shirt or comment on it or talk to you about your shirt. And I'm not a people-y. Like if I wear a shirt with words on it, it has to be like one word, like bruh.
Yeah, but you wore that one and people still comment
I know.
on it.
I know.
Or the no. They comment on that one too.
So I just need to get plain shirts that say nothing. Because that's one of my pet peeves in public is people stopping me to read my shirt. Like, I like the shirt, or I wouldn't have had it, but I don't want to talk to you about the shirt. It's not that interesting.
The best one that he has that people always comment on is the one that says occasional adult.
And I do like the shirt. That's the problem.
But he never thinks about it when we go sourcing and he just puts on a shirt and somebody always comments on it. I can't help it.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say about that. Like, I don't think I have ever in my whole life stopped somebody and said, that's a cool shirt. I like that shirt. Or what does the rest of your shirt say?
Hey.
Like, I don't do that. Why do people do that?
But I wear my Grams and Pop shirt. But a lot of people can't see it. That's the hard part. I wear
your bag.
I wear my bag across my body. And so it covers up our faces. So most people don't know what it is.
That's what I need. I need a shirt that has a QR code on the front and the back, but no words. And when you scan the QR code, it just says, don't talk to me, I'm antisocial. And that's it. And then people could just scan the QR code.
Now I'm going to have to.
Now we're going to have to.
So when you see on one of the upcoming shows, Corey wearing a QR shirt, just scan it.
All right. This has been a really long video. We appreciate you guys watching. If you made it this far, be sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.
Hasta la vista, baby.